We can't comment on exchange. So, as many smart contracts as you want, and you can.
Hello, everyone.
Hey there.
So this is episode 9, and it's all live this week.
The whole thing's live.
And we're going to go through. So basically, we this is Dean.
Hello.
Director of Engineering. I'm Joe. And we're here today primarily to talk about interchain, and prompted by the Cointelegraph and the Forbes articles, both saying either that something was just now and first, or that in particular the Cointelegraph talking about how interop isn't operational anywhere. And so we thought let's do at least a rundown history, what we're doing, how we look at it, things like that.
Yeah, because Dragonchain has been doing interchain since I started here at Dragonchain. So, to say that it's not functional is crazy. We've been doing interchain for almost over a year. At least we've been in development for over a year, and it's been functional and in production for like 300 days at least. Mm-hmm. So.
And it even when we released the code from Disney, it was already integrated with Bitcoin. I mean, Alex wrote that at the beginning. So if we can pull up the browser, I guess, we can start going through all of the stuff. So
yeah, let's take a look at it.
You're driving, right? So So if you can go to, we have to find the mouse, right?
Yeah. The mouse. Oh, there you go. Got it.
So.
Do I? Maybe not.
Sorry.
Oh
it is live.
What could go wrong? And it's up.
One way or another.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
We'll get the.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's just really sensitive. Sorry, guys.
Go to the first tab there, blockchain interop. So,
this guy.
This guy. So this was the Cointelegraph article, and they went through. Let's see here. What is it? And we have some things about that at the end that I think we want to talk about. But why it matters? Obviously, it matters. I think it's the holy grail. It's what is if you need the internet with scarcity, you're going to need the connectivity between all of the sites and all of the utilities. So that's why it matters.
Connecting blockchains is super important, and we use the hash power of those public networks from DragonNet. So interoperability is one of the core parts of Dragonchain we've been working on since its inception.
Right. The use cases, I don't think these are not necessarily incorrect, but they are maybe missing quite a few things. And I guess we should say, I meant to say, we did reach out to the author, Stephen, can't remember his last name. O'Neill, or Stephen. I would say Stephen O'Neill.
Sure, okay.
And we did reach out to Cointelegraph, no response, because we thought, well, we may have them on, maybe talk to them, figure if they had any input before. Then we go down, they mention mini projects, which are all, I at least most, the ones I know about are good quality.
Sure.
I've followed lightly for a while. But at the end, they say that...
are they interoperable now?
Blockchains are not interoperable, which is, that's the wrong part. That's kind of what triggered a lot of people to come and ask us, what's up with this. So one way or another, we wanted to have this demonstrate, what's already out there for interop, the history of it. So we go to the next tab, we can show, okay, this is, as an example, Stephen's article in Eternal. And Eternal was built in about 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, really fast.
We had to build it because we got notice that the interchain patent was being granted and would be published.
Yeah.
Right? So we saw, oh shoot, we don't have much time. So we put this together.
Cycle. That was insane.
It was nuts. The team delivered. It was amazing, right? And so, because there was a lot more going on. There was whole slew of things, the interchain everything contest, all that stuff. And This, though, was built in 2 weeks. We've had a few updates since then. One way or another, you can post a URL and it'll crawl it. You can post markdown text, plain text, and it will actually style it like this.
Tweets?
And you can put a tweet in there, and it'll pull the tweet from the Twitter API and put it in there. Then it goes through a process, and it was the first time that we could actually kind of visualize. There's an L1, there's an L2. You can show the raw data, what is in the L2, the header, the payloads. Awesome. 3 L2s, a level 3, a level 4 notary, and then a level 5 hitting Ethereum, where theoretically we could claim an interchain between all of those levels inside a DragonNet because they are their own chains. That doesn't matter so much, though.
I would say it's okay
for this discussion.
Inter-blockchain network from level 5 off to, in this case, Ethereum. Here's the hash. Like, the proof that this is interchain is just right there. And I mean, like, there's like math involved here.
And these are all of the level 5 blocks. That's one of the scaling points that we aggregate into Ethereum, so that not every single block is going out to Ethereum, because that would be cost
expensive,
prohibitive.
Yeah, that would be pretty expensive.
So
this thing goes out, I think, every 2 hours. Our level 5 Ethereum and the Ethereum Classic, I think, goes out every 2 hours.
And I've asked to speed that up even, because we I think there was a peak at some time in the relatively recent past where it was costing quite a bit. So there's a configuration option in the level 5 code, and you can see this in the open source, that you can actually just change duration of how often that goes out. So we set out whatever makes sense. Can you actually go to that transaction in like
this guy?
Yeah, Etherscan.
Let's see, do this. Is it already up here? Maybe he has.
I don't think so. I think those are the histories.
Here, if I open another one and etherscan.io, right? Yeah, and then here we go. I'll just paste this in. This mouse is sensitive. Woo! All right. So here we go, and I'm gonna. Oh my gosh, I gotta click it. I'm gonna try it. It's super sensitive. See, my hand is like barely moving. There you go. So yeah, you can see this is the L5 data. This is the hash that we publish out. So this is the base 64 encoded version of the L5 hash. So it's all going out there, and you can look at the address that's sending this stuff out, and there's like every 2 hours or something.
Go back to the Eternal page real quick, because we'll finish that. If you go to the top, I believe. There's combined cumulative hash power. So that's 87. Those are all commas, right? So it's 87 billion terahashes, whatever it is. Well, it is the estimated hash power, because it's only hitting it daily from our data, but of both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Ethereum Classic is also in there, but we don't have a source for the hash power, so that's not in there right now. Anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, Eternal's primary goal was to show that production interchain is currently happening in Dragonchain right now. So like it is for sure going out there. I don't know how else.
And you can look up when the patent was published to know when we built this.
Yeah.
Right. So okay. So after that, we have the history. So we go through the history, and we know that the first Bitcoin interaction, where we hashed it into Bitcoin, was prior to October 2016. I believe it was September, but it could have been August. And that was where we were doing the same thing internally, but it was hitting Bitcoin only.
Yep.
Right.
That was the first iteration of the product, right?
Yeah. Yes. And a totally different implementation now. I think even the way that the message we're throwing into Bitcoin is almost certainly different. I can't remember what our prefix was. Then we launched the commercial side. We're building out the platform. We first interchained Ethereum in 2018, and do we have the first one up on a tab? I think it's that's the list.
The list.
I think it's the one to the left of that.
This one.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Alex.
That's Alex.
That's Alex.
Sorry, I'm wrong. That's Alex, who did the first Bitcoin interaction at Disney. He built that. in a rush because we wanted to get it done before we open sourced. So we had level 5 functionality then.
Yeah, let me check these tabs and see if we can find these.
It's all right. One way or another, Ethereum was in 2018. Ethereum Classic was nearly immediately after. It might have been launched at the same time, also 2018. Bitcoin was again 2018. I think it was October. And Neo it followed, right? And Neo is currently disabled.
Oh, yes,
because
Neo.
You might be able to explain it better than me.
Oh, yeah, Neo was just impossible for us to keep running and operational. Neo's team had a rough time with their docs, and there was just one time where they deleted a bunch of comments in there, like just one commit, just got rid of all the comments to help you out. So it was really hard to keep that node active. So we decided to disable that.
And we're waiting. They have supposedly, from my understanding, I shouldn't say supposedly. From my understanding, they have a big refactor that's coming. But I don't know. I don't.
So yeah, this is you can see this is our the level 5 on Ethereum. That 315 days ago, like this is when we first put the ETH funds in it to fund that level 5 to send transactions out.
And then over that, can it tell you what the date is?
It
does. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
1031.
What is that? Halloween.
Yes, Halloween.
Halloween.
It's Satoshi's with a white paper day, right? So,
yeah. So our first interchain transaction on Ethereum was this one, and you can look at it. It's data here. So like, to say that we're not doing interchain stuff is kind of crazy. There it is. Boom.
You can see the DCL5. So, and then the hash that is in the level 5.
And this is just level 5 interchain. Actually, we have the contract interchains, and those are still active today. You can like write a smart contract in a Docker container and send transactions to whatever network you want. I mean, we make it easy to do Ethereum, Bitcoin, ETH Classic, but like really the sky's the limit. You have your code on the blockchain in a Docker container that you can write whatever you want to. So there's really nothing you can't interchain with as long as it has some sort of interface that you could interact with programmatically.
And I'm wanting to do something for a bounty for interchain so that other projects could plug in. If you have a project that needs to connect to something else, you could just write an interchain and do it. We also are really looking at, and if you look at the strategic bounty page, we already have a couple of projects listed, and we're already working on some things we really want to expand into, and those are traditional systems where let's say you're running SAP, you're also running Exchange, that we could interchain with those. You could run a smart contract that can glue together those interactions between these big traditional ugly systems, which normally cost a lot of money to customize. So very simple integrations. We're thinking SAP, QuickBooks, Exchange server, email stuff, employee systems, all that. And so we're really wanting to build out some of that because we know it's probably easier to explain. Well, I know it's easier to explain to enterprises why they might want to integrate something that they already run rather than
learn something
Ethereum
new.
or Siacoin or something else, right?
Yeah, I think that's why developers were so excited for Docker. Because you don't have to learn something new. You could do something you're familiar with.
Yes.
So and that was part of that push for Postgres too, right? That Postgres is familiar, and like why should you have to learn something new to do something awesome? And like that's why I really like the stuff we do at Dragonchain, because we really integrate things that you're familiar with to do blockchain stuff. So I don't know.
But the whole architecture. So the whole architecture being that we, even from the base, wanted someone writing a smart contract on a blockchain would be able to follow the model they already understood.
Yeah.
Security model, all of the DevOps, it's all the same, and yet you can leverage that other world of totally decentralized chains. So that's kind of, so we can go through here. We have upcoming interchange we're working on right now. We have a big list. There will be a blog post with all this info and all the links in it. And you can look up that Interchain Everything contest where we just asked everybody what would you want. But currently we're working on.
Yeah, so Dragonchain just is about to release this interchain key management feature. We've been working on this for a while, and this is really cool because it'll let you connect together any blockchain keys that you want to add onto your Dragonchain. So we started setting up all these nodes. Like Joe said, we're setting up a bunch of level 5s. Binance is coming, which is pretty exciting. So that node's actually already active. We just have to plug the keys in and give it a test. And Stellar. Oh, you wrote Stella. Someone wrote Stella there. That's funny. But yeah, no, the Stellar node, actually, that one is being put together now. And Storage and SIA, those are in the pipeline. So, I mean, they're all, running in our VPC in AWS.
And I think a big part of it, we had that contest, and those are definitely all on the list. We don't have them prioritized. The way that we are prioritizing, and even occasionally we'll be pulling something that isn't on that list in, is hash power, right? So the chains with the most hash power provide the most value to our security. Size of network, number of nodes, diversity, things like that. Staking power, similar, and then really important is the diversity of algorithms. So we want Litecoin because it's a different proof algorithm. We want a slew of the different quantum resistant chains because they have different algorithms. Those are really interesting because that's at a level 5 what's most important. We had the example of Ethereum Classic having that 51% attack. I don't remember the date, but it totally did not affect anything that we did because Bitcoin and Ethereum were both running. So you can imagine any network falling down, even if it's occasionally, depending upon the model. And the beauty is we can still rely on the others. I mean, if we would have only been using one, then you're at risk.
Diversifying level 5s is a good idea, like just at its core. So I'm excited about Binance and Stellar. That's hilarious.
And then the other bit. So that's kind of like the, I would guess consider it dimension of interchain. That first is that security, right? I think it's sometimes odd to me because when I read those articles when other people are talking about interop on blockchain, it blows my mind that more often than not, it seems either very a simplistic view every time I'm reading it, or even sometimes wrong until I get to the bottom and I realize, oh, they're talking about currency interop. That is, my Bitcoin on Ethereum or my Ethereum token on Neo or something, and it kind of blows my mind that's even. It's like I understand that's funny. I could see some use cases where 10, 15 years from now, hopefully 5 years from now, everyone will understand it. It'll make sense. I want to be able to manage that over there
currency is such a small part of what blockchain's capable of. It doesn't surprise me, though, because currency right now is so popular. But, I don't know, the possibilities with blockchain talking to each other goes way beyond currency. Although that's definitely something you could do. We actually explored a lot of that with the wormhole concept.
Yes.
So we dove into that hard. We had a plan to go wormholes with ETH and ETH Classic as a first go on this. Focusing though on the that level 5 interchains and getting data, actual data, not just coins across networks. I think is a huge win.
Yes.
And just because you can post the hash of hashes, and you just sort of link the entire blockchain network with another one. So by diversifying that hash power, it just expands your blockchain to encompass other blockchains.
When we even first started talking about it, we very much are focused on what I think is what you just described as the utility side of interchain interop. That with Dragonchain you can easily add some newly developed utility or newly recognized utility that might be on a pre-existing chain or a new chain. It's basically, oh, here's this new tech, but shoot, I built everything in this tech, right? And that's the flavor of the week. It's too expensive. So when all the enterprises are looking to decide which blockchain to use, that becomes the question. Flexibility and future. You don't want to lock them into something. Right. So that's why our architecture is the way it is, and that's why this utility side. I think probably of utility, stores, Siacoin, Filecoin, the decentralized storage networks are extremely interesting because they're focused on a utility.
Right.
And we already have use cases for them. We have some customers that have already asked for various features, and we have, like, say, Dragon Factor, where one of the options will be decentralized storage. You have to pay for it,
right.
Cost extra, but if you want that, it's there to store your identity factors. So that's a huge thing, and that's why with the traditional side, if you can find use cases where let's say something happens in my SAP system or my Workday system where an employee is added, right? That you can, how do I say, you can tie in a smart contract. You can both get it ledger, so you can prove this with start date, whatever else you need to do. But it can also fire off all the stuff to add them to all the employee internal forums, to their email, to everything else. It's covered across the board.
Yeah, I mean, you can integrate all of your custom business logic on the blockchain.
Right.
I think that's why it's so popular, that you can blend whatever business logic you want onto the blockchain. You don't have to, you don't have to fall in line with just currency and that's it. There's a whole ocean of things that you can do. So, yeah, and traditional stuff sounds like the easiest integration for people. So.
And I think easiest to understand too.
Yeah,
they can see the value right away.
Yeah.
So you don't have to convince them that the world is changing and you need to do something in a decentralized smart contract.
Sure.
Where that's a hard sell, right?
Yeah.
But where they might recognize it, that they can, okay, well, I want to do all this traditional stuff, but with this one little thing, I want that to be public on Ethereum. It's like, sure, that's really easy then, right?
You don't have to learn Solidity or do something that your dev team is not familiar with. You can just just make a container, send it on up, easy.
Yeah. So that's everything, I think, right?
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I got, unless you want to tell jokes or something.
I don't have anything today. So yeah, thanks for watching. We be on the lookout. There is going to be a full blog post with all of the links to the history and to the actual block explorers of all of the networks we're connected to.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Interchain everything.
It's crazy, JoJo's craziest merch sale ever! Get everything in Dragonchain merch! Get it on out during Crazy JoJo's craziest merch sale ever! JoJo's prices are insane! We are not undersold, we will not be undersold, we cannot be undersold, and we mean it! Get a Dragonchain sticker, get a hardware wallet, and get a limited edition JoJo while you still can! Go to merch.dragonchain.com. That's merch.dragonchain.com. Merch.dragonchain.com.